Good afternoon, sir. Today, Hitesh, sir, of Indubhai Parekh School of Architecture is with us. So, sir, my first question is: being the faculty of Indubhai Parekh School of Architecture, what are your roles and responsibilities towards the students?
Uh, it's actually our roles are very straightforward. In a sense, um, we spend our time with the young minds, and young people are basically full of energy. What what they need in this age specifically is they need support and motivation. So any teacher, for that matter, in higher education, the primary role is to give them support emotionally as well as educationally and motivate them. But over a time, what I have realized is challenging them make them excel. So if you can challenge them in their subject by some means, um, that will push them to find a way forward or next direction. So finding a new direction in education is something which individually every student wants to try, and that can be pushed as a method. It can be pushed through challenging them conceptually. So that is a role a teacher should play.
Okay, sir. So, my next question is: as you said, the experience you are having in this field. So, I want to ask that how do you try to bring in a practical approach to your subjects and make them industry oriented? Like this is the industry era in which modern world is more of technology. So, how you make ready the students in this era?
Mhm. Our discipline is little different than the other disciplines like engineering, or it's more like a medicine. It's a professional course, and every graduate will eventually qualify as a professional. So, in that sense, the entire curriculum, even the methods, has to be oriented to practice, because largely architects would go out and do practice. So, in that mode, most of our processes, like our main primary exercise is problem solving. You set up a problem in a specific situation, and students supposed to solve that problem. That's in that specific situation. Now, if you define a situation with real people, real site, and real contextual condition, then that exposure built in confidence in themselves, because the real situation you are dealing with and trying to find a possible answer for that situation. So that is the primary tool which most architecture schools use. But for in our case, we try to bring this conditioning in every other subjects, not just in design, but subjects like largely our subjects are divided into three facets. There are humanities based courses, there are technology based courses, and there are design courses. And in other two parts as well, like in technological courses, also we try to keep this real situation impact. So we try to make it problem based exercise rather than a plain theoretical exercise.
Okay, sir. So my next question is: how do you strategize the curriculum, and how often does it get updated to make it benefiting for the students?
Ideally, every organization, every institution like this should have maximum curriculum period of 5 years. We generally target for 3 years, and lastly, our curriculum was altered in 2020, and our next target is 2023. So in 2023, we're gonna update it with newer changes. And the strategies we largely follow is for a professional course like this, there are this fundamental core which you have to keep intact. The fundamental core which is kind of a constant which ties everything together. But at the same time, allowing new advanced practices to come in, alternative or advanced practices to come in. So in the construction industry, there are a lot of new materials coming in place. There are a lot of technology comes in place. which are at times an alternate to old practice, or it is a advance. It's a new thing
Yeah,
altogether.
like strategies like technologies changes.
So the way technology is changing, it has to reflect back in your curriculum.
Yeah.
So we try to keep curriculum, but every 3 years we try to bring this new change, which allow students to get exposed to it. At the same time, as teachers, you are able to bring newer nuances of technology into your curriculum.
Yes. Okay. So, sir, my next question is: how does the curriculum of Indubhai Parekh School of Architecture ensures the industry's best practice? Like, in best practice in the sense, sir, we know, sir, like tomorrow there will be new technology, new industry practice. So, how you ensures that the student are cope up with that?
So, because you are asking in reference of curriculum. So pedagogically, our primary focus, the best practices should be followed as its physical form. That today this kind of buildings are coming up. Like most of the buildings are glass buildings, and there is no point following that physicality of. But you have to get into new practices of concept which emerge in time. Like there used to be a concept of sustainability when I studied for a long time, and we were struggling with what is a possible answer for sustainability. Today we have some formulation of that answer. But today the newer concept is resilience, something which is resilient across time, which sustain and adapt with time. So that's a newer concept in field of architecture. How we bring that into our curriculum, that is what makes us unique against the rest of the place.
Yeah.
So you have to have an adaptability and flexibility within your system, which allow new concepts to come in.
Yeah, sir. Very good idea of industry's best practice. So, sir, my next question is: what valuable advice would you like to give to the students for them to have a prosperous career ahead? What are your views?
For students, see, I very firmly believe, and I many a time give this message in different form as well. Being educated is about developing your own worldview. It's not about getting know-how of things. That I learn how to draw, I learn how to build or design a building. That's by the way. Being educated is to get your worldview. You understand what is your role in this larger world and how you fit into the kind of change which occur. And this developing worldview is one, the developing ability to make space for your oneself in changing situation. The situation is constantly changing. Today, I can talk about what will be the next step, but I cannot talk about what would be the step 10 years later. What is the new concept 10 years later will come. So, every student has to make himself ready for every concurrent change. Change is inevitable. It's gonna come. You have to just develop and flexibility and ability to keep changing with time and make adaptive, make time adaptive, make situation adaptive. So rather than focusing on what is new today, by the time you will be graduating, there will be new concepts and you do know what it would be. So rather than focusing what is new today, think about how you will adapt to new things tomorrow. And that would be the large advice I would like to give.
Thank you so much.